Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so sorry that I haven't been making videos as consistently as I normally do, but I assure you that March is going to be filled with heaps of new movies to focus on. However, today's review is about another video game franchise being adapted to the big screen, and given that it's one of the most popular game franchises out there, I'm not surprised that this eventually became a movie. So this is Kier's Reviews, and this is my review of Uncharted.
You better do something now.
Go in twice. And...
Oh, this is gonna suck!
Oh, that was something. You're doing great. Hang in there.
There are two ways to approach this Uncharted movie. One, it's an adventure film filled with a recognisable cast and some interesting action sequences. Or two, you're an Uncharted fan who feels that this is a complete and utterly terrible adaptation of the popular video game franchise, despising everything that this film did wrong in comparison to those games. I went into this expecting a fun adventure movie, but also as an Uncharted fan, so I had both of those viewpoints in my head approaching the release. It's quite obvious that the only reason Tom Holland was cast in this role was because he is one of the most popular actors in blockbusters today, and also he has a wide audience of superhero fans, teenagers, and girls who think he's good looking. It certainly worked in that arena because seeing just how many girls were in the cinema compared to young adults who had grown up with the Uncharted franchise was very overwhelming. This in turn is basically one of the worst casting choices for the movie simply because Tom Holland is nothing like his counterpart in the video games, Nathan Drake. I could not see a single aspect of Nathan Drake in Tom, and that really disappointed me and other Uncharted fans. Video game films accrue a bad reputation as there are very few that are actually worth watching. To this day, the highest rating I've given a movie based off of a video game is a 7 out of 10, which I gave to last year's Mortal Kombat, but I fear that if I rewatch that one, my score will drop even lower. Sony really missed the ball with this adaptation in almost every single aspect. Even though Tom stated a couple of years ago that it was one of the best scripts he'd ever read, I could tell that he was lying even then. Uninspired, completely unoriginal, the screenplay and sequences took quite a lot of well-known cutscenes from the games and tried to bring it to film, while also redefining different character relationships and completely rewriting the aspects of the main character. The seeming copy and paste technique with the games felt like another video game film that surprisingly did it well, but to no praise, and that was Alicia Vikander's Tomb Raider movie from 2018. Even though I thought they were well made and brilliantly adapted from the game to the big screen, I couldn't help but feel that lack of originality because essentially, I was watching scenes that I've already seen from the game, but just done in a live action format.
You are a collector.
I dabble.
I don't dabble. This cross has a very tragic history. 80 men died trying to hold onto it. So much blood, so needlessly spilled.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, please.
Good luck to you.
The auction will be commencing very soon.
A lot of fans have been praising the live-action fan film starring Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake and Stephen Lang as Sully, which is certainly perfect casting that all Uncharted fans would have loved to have seen on the big screen. Why Sony didn't hire them when they already have been shown so much love from fans for so long, and then consciously hired both Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg completely baffles me. I guess that they only did it because the two are easy pulls to get an audience, which has been reflected in the box office numbers since its release. The casting was atrocious, and that is certainly a fault on the actors' behalf and the script's behalf. Whoever wrote this obviously didn't care about its source material at all, because this is as far from an adaptation of Uncharted as I can recall. With weak dialogue, an actor can only do so much with it, but if Nathan Fillion was in the lead role, at least he would have captured the characters so much better than Tom, even with an awful script. I can completely understand why this is getting so much hate from fans, because it is an unfaithful adaptation of one of the best game series in history. However, I can see from a regular audience member's point of view how they'd actually enjoy this adventure.
Give me the cross. Sully! Hurry!
Shut up. I'm working on it.
I'll shut up when you get us the hell out of here! Sully, you don't turn that Damn key, we're gonna drown!
It's gonna take a little longer than I thought, kid.
As far as blockbuster action-adventure films go, they are typically cliched, predictable, and have a very thin plot. Can I say that those three aspects sum up Uncharted? Most certainly. There are some wonderfully thrilling action scenes throughout that are actually genuinely a good time, and as I said before, if this was isolated from the Uncharted name, this is actually a decent movie, packed with adventure, excitement, and some really cool visual effects and stunts. Even though it is helmed by Sony, which to film buffs usually means as a precursor that this is ultimately going to most likely be disappointing, it's nice to see that Sony actually had a good try at acquiring a journey that is worth watching, even though it completely derives from the Uncharted games. In that way, I was definitely welcoming to what this movie could offer, but no matter what perspective you view this through, it is a mess, and doesn't build anything for the audience to care about. It's simply another typical blockbuster made for video game fans and young teenagers, because besides that, I found myself just wanting the movie to end even though the pace was fairly quick. This is very much the same issue I had with Sonic the Hedgehog, quickly paced, but it actually held a terribly handled story.
Okay, whoa, let me guess. Pina colada?
I think you're a comedian, dear sunshine.
Okay, I got it.
Sex on the beach.
When you hear of another famous video game franchise being adapted to the big screen, your expectations lower very quickly, and Uncharted is no exception. Terrible casting, a rubbish story, and awfully built characters, this film only is held up by its exciting action sequences and Tom Holland's performance, even if it isn't at all representative of the lead character from the games. If this was handled the same way that the fan film was, with the brilliant casting of Nathan Fillion, this could possibly have been the glimmer of hope that video game fans have been wanting with these films, so I'll give Uncharted a 4 out of 10. Thank you all so much for watching. Are you going to see Uncharted? Let me know below. As always, be sure to have a look at my previous reviews of Death on the Nile and Spencer. Be sure to follow me on Letterboxd and Instagram for all of my latest movie reviews. This has been Kiers Reviews, signing off for now.
Don't forget to like, follow, and obey.